Once upon a time, way out in the desert, there were 3 little javelinas, our wild, hairy southwest cousins of the pig. One day, the 3 little javelinas traveled away to seek their fortunes in this hot, dry land. The sky was almost always blue. Steep purple mountains looked down on the desert where the cactus forest grew. Soon the little javelinas came to a spot where the path divided, and each one went a different way. The first little javelina wandered lazily along. He didn't see a dust storm whirling across the desert until it caught him. The whirlwind blew away and left the first little javelina sitting in a heap of tumbleweeds, brushing himself off. He said,
"I'll build a house with them."
In no time at all, he did.
Then along came a coyote. He ran through the desert so quickly and so quietly that he was almost invisible. In fact, this was only one of Coyote's many magical tricks. He laughed when he saw the tumbleweed house and smelt the javelina inside.
A tender, juicy piggy.
He thought Coyote was tired of eating mice and rabbits. He called out sweetly,
Little pig, let me come in.
Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in,
said the coyote, and he huffed and he puffed and he blew the little tumbleweed house away. But in the hollow blue, the first little javelina escaped and went looking for his brother and sister Coyote, who was very sneaky, tiptoed along behind. The second little javelina walked for miles among giant cactus plants called saguaros. They held their ripe red fruit high in the sky, but they made almost no shade, and the little javelina grew hot. Then he came upon a Native American woman who was gathering sticks from inside a dried-up cactus. She planned to use these long sticks called saguaro roots to knock down the sweet cactus fruit. The second little javelina said,
please, may I have some sticks to build a house?
"How?"
she said, which means yes in the language of other people.
When he was finished building his house, he lay down in the shade. Then his brother arrived, panting from the heat, and the second little javelina moved over and made a place for him.
Pretty soon, Coyote found this saguaro-rid house. He used his magic to make his voice sound just like another javelina.
Little pig, let me come in,
he called, but the little javelinas were suspicious. The second one cried,
no, not by the hair on my chinny chin chin.
I'll
huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in.
So he huffed and he puffed, and all the saguaro ribs came tumbling down, but the 2 little javelinas escaped into the Still not discouraged, Coyote followed. Sometimes his magic did fail, but then he usually come up with another trick.
The third little javelina trotted through beautiful elder trees with green trunks and yellow flowers.
She saw a snake slithering by, smooth as oil. A hawk floated around and around above her. Then she came to a place where a man was making adobe bricks from mud and straw.
The bricks lay on the ground, baking in the hot sun, but
Little Javelina knocked for a moment and said,
"May I please have a few adobe to build a house?"
Sí, answered the man.
which means yes in Spanish, the brickmaker's language. So the third little Javelina built herself a solid little adobe house, cool in summer and warm in winter.
When her brothers found her, she welcomed them in and locked the door behind them. Coyote followed their trails.
Little pig, let me come in.
He called. The three little Javelinas looked out the window. The same coyote pretended to be very old and weak, with no teeth and a sore paw, but they were not food.
Not gonna hear my chin.
Calls back the third little Javelina.
Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in.
Said Coyote. He grinned, thinking of the wild pig dinner to come.
Just try it.
Shouted the third Javelina, so Coyote huffed and puffed, but the adobe mix did not budge. Again, Coyote tried.
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in.
The third little Javelina covered their hairy ears, but nothing happened. The Javelina peeked out the window.
The tip of the coyote's raggedy tail whisked past their heads, past their noses. He was climbing upon the tin roof. Next, Coyote used his magic to make himself very skinny.
Coyote said to himself, he squeezed into the soap.
I think I'll eat them with red-hot chili sauce.
Whoosh sizzled. Then the three little Javelinas heard an amazing noise. It was not a bark, it was not a crackle, it was not a howl, it was not a scream.
Yip!
Away ran a puff of smoke shaped like a coyote.
There, the three little Javelinas lived happily ever after in the adobe house.
And if you ever hear a coyote's voice way out in the desert at night,
You know what he's remembering.